Alright, this is John Cola with DiscountJuicers.com to have another exciting episode for you. And this is an episode I know many of you guys have been waiting for. So many people ask me, John, what are you doing a review of the all-new Omega NC1000 juicer? This is Omega's newest juicer that they just came out with in 2020. And actually, this is the first opportunity I've had to use it myself. I haven't used it until today, and I'm going to be juicing for the first time in it. And I know since many of you guys have seen it online, you guys are wondering more about it. And I am too, honestly, right? I mean, it pretty much kind of looks like some other older machines, but it's their latest and newest generation. So is latest and newest always best? Well, I would think that most companies would like to make products, and as the new products come out, they are actually better than the old ones in some way for hopefully you and also the company that's manufacturing it. So this is their latest and greatest NC1000, and so this juicer is classified as a horizontal single auger, and Omega likes to call it masticating, which basically means chewing juicer. I would actually like to call it a slow cold press juicer, because it doesn't really chew things up like the original Champion juicer that is known as a masticating, but most people are not familiar with all the juicing terms like I am. So they basically just say masticating because that's the one whole big category of juicers. Although I may not agree with it, this is actually superior, in my opinion, than a masticating juicer because it does it at a low 80 revolutions per minute. Now, besides being just a juicer, and this could juice things from fruits and vegetables, sprouts, wheatgrass, and even the microgreens, right? It is also an NC1000. NC stands for Nutrition Center. So what does Nutrition Center means? That means this machine allows you to do a lot more than just juice. And if you look on the box, they have all these little icons on the bottom of the box. They have basically, you could juice fruits and vegetables, you could, juice greens, you could make nut milks, you could use it to mince and juice celery, you could use it to make baby foods, nut butters, extrude pasta. It doesn't make pasta, it extrudes pasta. You have to make the dough yourself. And of course, make things like sorbets. You could also make things like salsas. I made salsas. I have a video making salsa in the previous generation of this machine. So it can do a lot more. I've sold it to people that will grind their coffee in there. I don't recommend you guys drink coffee. I'd recommend you guys drink straight vegetable juice instead. It's a lot healthier in my opinion than coffee. You could grind up different kinds of, minced herbs, like put garlic in it. It'll grind it all up, mince it up for you so you could use it in your recipes. I've made actually candy with this machine. No, not using any sugar, just using basically nuts and some dates that are pitted, or some other dried fruits, putting in nuts and dates with what's called the homogenizing or blank plate or solid cone, whatever you want to call it. It'll allow you to make your own date nut candy or fruit nut candy. If you ever bought a Laura bar for like $1, maybe even $2 some places, right? You can make that stuff for fractions of a penny and have the exact recipe and ingredients that you want to put and choose to put in your body. And that's why I love juicing so much, right? If you guys are still going to juice bars and buying a $10 juice, right? Let me tell you guys, buying a juicer is the best thing you guys could do because it's going to save you guys so much money, right? If you're buying a 16-ounce juice for $10, I mean, that's really expensive. A 16-ounce glass of non-organic carrot juice would cost me about maybe $1 to make, right? In general, 1 pound of produce will equal about 8 ounces of juice, depending on the juicer and the produce being used. Of course, some juicers are more efficient at juicing certain produce items than others, and the horizontal single auger style machines excel at juicing leafy greens. So I get so many emails all the time, John, I want to make green juices. So if you want to make green juices, then I'd highly recommend this machine, because if you're going to be juicing mostly greens or all greens, this is the machine. If you guys have a large garden like I do, right, this is likely the machine you're going to want to buy, because it can juice your old, mature greens that I'll be showing you guys in a minute, as well as all the different greens. And, in my opinion, we should base our diet around the greens. The greens are the most healing foods on the planet. They have different kinds of trace minerals and nutrients and lutein and zeaxanthin and folate, which are really good for us, and most Americans don't eat enough leafy greens, and that's really why I like juicing. Juicing allows me to concentrate the amount of fruits and vegetables that I can consume, and consume more than I normally could. Like, for example, my first juice of the day was 24 ounces of all lettuce juice, straight lettuce juice. 24 ounces of juice, that's 24 divided by 8, that's 3. That's about 3 pounds of lettuce I juice. The next recipe that I had today was basically celery, cucumber with some lettuce in there, right? And I had 32 ounces of that, so 32 divided by 4, or 32 divided by 8 is 4, and I had 4 pounds of produce. So before I've even eaten lunch, right, this is just my breakfast, I've had 7 pounds of produce, basically vegetables, probably more produce than most people, most Americans, eat in a week, right? And so I've been living this lifestyle now for 25 years, and that's why, juicing is just the most beneficial thing you guys could do, especially if you guys aren't eating the best diet. If you're eating fast food, junk food, processed foods, animal foods in excess, all these things are not the best for us, and we need to really incorporate the good stuff. Now, I would tell you guys also to get rid of the bad stuff, because just incorporating some good stuff and still eating the bad stuff, it's definitely better than only eating bad stuff, but we would really want to get to eating, a food and a diet rich in phytonutrients and phytochemicals and, abundant and mostly all plant foods, in my opinion. Anyways, enough about that. Today we're talking about the NC1000. So I guess, it's an amazing machine backed up by Omega. So I want to, there's a lot of new sellers selling juicers that pop up every day on different websites. And, a lot of these companies are literally based in China. They don't even have U.S. support. They basically ship a whole container of stuff over to Amazon. Amazon fulfills it for them, and they're sitting in China, exporting, in my opinion, in some cases, cheap Chinese goods that may not have the best quality, may not have proper, electrical approvals, and also have very poor warranties. This juicer is backed up and made by Omega, which has basically been in the juicing business, I think, 35 years now. So they're one of the oldest established companies in the United States selling juicers. And you also have, aside from their stability and U.S.-based support in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so if you guys are watching me from the Omega support department, hey, you guys are doing a good job, so thank you for that. This has a 15-year warranty with U.S. support with American-speaking people that you will be able to get a hold of once you call them, and might have to wait on hold of it because they are quite busy. And hopefully they improve their staffing and get more customer service people to answer the phones in a quicker basis. So I will say that. And the next thing I will say is that if you guys appreciate my videos, my reviews, my commentary on juicers, the juicing industry, and me using the juicers and explaining to you guys the difference between them, I have over 500 videos on this channel. I would encourage you guys to support me and don't buy this machine from a big box store or even from other places, because this allows me to continue my work. In addition, you get benefits when you buy a juicer from me instead of anywhere else. Number one, you get me on your side. Whether you're using the juicer, something happens, you don't know how to juice something, ask me the question. I've definitely probably, more so than any other buddy that sells juicers probably on the planet, I've run in more produce through juicers in the last 25 years, since I've been juicing pretty much straight for the last 25 years. And all different kinds of vegetables. I will be able to answer your question, or I will definitely know somebody that can answer the question about the challenge or opportunity you're having about using your juicer. That is not going to happen anywhere else. I would venture to say on some levels I'm more advanced and know more about using the juicers than some of the customer service people at Omega, which, hey, I have great respect for, because I actually use the machines, not reading off a teleprompter or a screen or anything like that, right? And have direct experience, and that's something you're not going to get if you buy your juicer from a big box store, right? That's number one. So that's super critical, super important. If you run into issues, I got your back, right? Number one. Number two, next reason is because if you have problems getting warranty service or customer service on legitimate warranty claims from Omega, once again, I got your back. You buy directly from Omega, they're not taking care of you. You can't complain to anybody else, right? If you buy the juicer from me, you're in problems with Omega taking care of you, you need to let me know, because I have special connections, direct connections, even with the vice president of Omega. Maybe he got promoted to the president now, to make sure, you guys get your problems handled. And I can say confidently and look you guys straight in the eyes that 100% of the people that have had legitimate warranty claims with Omega have gotten it resolved, even if they couldn't get it resolved directly from Omega directly, right? And I'm serious about that, because, juicing is not, I just don't sell juicers because I could sell any widgets in the world if I wanted to. I sell juicers because not only do I believe in them, they have changed my life, and they have changed the lives of thousands of my customers, that I've sold them to over the last, over 20 years that I've been in business selling juicers here in the United States, and a big proponent of juicing and juicers. Once again, if you buy your juicer from anywhere else, you're not going to get this level of customer service and warranty, from Omega if they're not taking care of you directly. You can't complain to a big box store. They have just trained staff, maybe even in India, that can't help you like I can because they don't have direct connections, And Omega wants to take care of my customers because they want to keep me happy because they know I'm a big public figure and make lots of videos basically sharing the truth about the juicers and all the machines on the market. Whether it's good, bad, here's the thing, man. Every juicer has its pros and cons, its goods and bads, and that's why I make over 500 videos on this channel comparing the juicers, pros and cons, goods and bads, so you guys can get the right juicer for you and be an empowered consumer instead of disempowered one where you just read some verbiage and then you're sold on the verbiage that they wrote and then you buy the juicer and you have a terrible time. In addition, what you're going to get are all my videos. You get those anyways, but I make specific videos on how to use some of these machines properly, which actually is not even in some of the instruction manuals that you buy with the juicer. So, for this machine, I don't have a video on how to use this one, but I will put a link down below to the video I made on how to use the NC800 properly and some shortcuts and things that I've learned over the years so you guys get the best use and most efficient use out of your juicers. Once again, I'm here to support you guys, and this is a level of support that, is unparalleled in my opinion of any other juicer seller in the country because I actually will personally answer your emails that you send in. I don't have a staff or anything. I answer your questions personally because I want it to get handled right, and I don't want to give you an incorrect answer. It's very important to me. Just yesterday I was talking to people out of juicers that already own one. They're like, John, should I get a new one? I'm like, you know what? If your old one works fine, the new one is not really going to benefit you. You might actually get less yield. So save your money, right? And I don't mind doing that, because, I want the best for you guys because juicing has changed my life, and this is the way I live my life, just like that. All right? Next reason you should purchase from me is, I would encourage you to purchase from me at the prices posted on our website so I can continue my work the best way possible. But we do also have a price match policy where we will price match any other authorized dealer's delivered price, including any sales tax and shipping that they would charge you. So you don't have to feel like you could save $5 and get it somewhere else. I would encourage you guys to spend the more extra $5 for me and consider it my tip for educating you guys about all this stuff and in valuing, making your life even better with my videos. So I won't go into anything further. I'll put a link down below. Well, a link is down below in the description on, all the reasons why you should support me at discount juicers instead of a big box store. Anyways, on to this video because I know some of you guys are complaining, John, you talk too much. Let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. So Omega NC1000 unboxing, first time on video. I think this is the first video on the NC1000. Now this is the NC1000. This is the main motor body here. And this pretty much kind of looks like their NC800 model with the, basically silver plastic. The NC900 is identical in function to the NC800. It is only, instead of being silver, it's basically chrome plated plastic. Right, so NC800, NC900, basically the same. This is the NC1000, so the newer model. So here's the thing, I definitely like the looks of this one better. I mean, the NC800, NC900, I would call them award-winning juicers, were released like in 2013, so they're about 7 years old. Some of the cars that are 7 years old are still up on the road today, running really well, and and they're doing fine. But, maybe newer cars might even get better, So this, in my opinion, definitely looks a lot more sharper and maybe more of a modern look than the original NC800, NC900. So the other thing about this new motor, unlike the NC800, NC900, there's a few things. Number one, I really like the grip handle on this, right? We could lift it up like literally with one hand. Let's see if I can lift it with one finger. This thing's about, I weighed it out actually, it's about the same weight as an NC800 machine that I have, so it's about the same weight, so that same heavy duty motor in there. And if we look on the bottom, this is actually a 200 watt motor, whereas the NC800, NC900 are only 150 watt motor. So does that mean 150 watts more? Is that more powerful, more durable? It definitely will use more electricity, but does that mean you're going to basically get better juicing? Well, I have yet to test that yet. The other thing I really like about this is that it has a reset button on the bottom, so if you guys can see that. This is something that NC800 and NC900 does not have. I know the NC800 and NC900 does have a thermal overload switch, so that if it should overheat, it'll pop the thermal overload switch, and that thermal overload switch should reset automatically, unless you really did something bad. This one I like has a little breaker switch, so if you should mess up the juicer, it'll just pop out. So if your juicer doesn't work when you plug it in and you turn it on, make sure this button is all the way pushed in. So I do like that. That is definitely an improvement over the previous generation model. Other than that, I don't really see too much difference on this machine than the previous generation. Pretty much the same footprint, same size, looks nicer, has the reset button. Next, let's go ahead and start pulling out some of these parts. So here's some of the parts. This is the main juicer body housing. It will come disassembled in the box when you pull it out. I've actually taken it out and already washed it and assembled it for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. Now the one thing I like about the NC1000 model and also the other NC models is that it is the easiest juicer to use and clean. Actually, I bought an NC900 for my parents who are elderly because it's a really simple, easy, no-brainer juicer. You basically put the produce in, it juices, and you take the juicer apart, which is really easy to take apart and clean it, and it's the fastest juicer to clean that I've found in the world at present time. The NC800, NC900 takes me 80 seconds, and I expect no difference with this, so it should be about the same amount of time, 1.5 minutes to clean your juicer. It doesn't get any easier than that, folks. So basically, I'm gonna have an upcoming episode where I compare this in detail to the NC800 as well as the MM900 machine and some of the other Omega models. But basically, it just has your stock pusher. The thing I like about this machine is that it actually has, you know, the widest feed chute for any horizontal, single auger juicer on the market at this time. And so that's really nice. Also, difference than the previous model, this tube is all clear, so I really like that a lot. It looks a lot more sharp, a lot better in my... All right, let's go ahead and start to take apart this machine for you guys. So there's this outlet adjusting knob and a drum cap here, and it basically has an adjuster with a... It has 3 different settings on here, although you can adjust between the settings, so you get additional settings. So there's like, setting number 1, you could go maybe setting number 1.5, setting 2, 2.5, and setting 3 is the tightest. When you're doing this, you guys can see that rotates out and there's more space, and if it rotates in, there's less space. So if there's less space here, that means it's a tighter clearance on the inside so that it allows the pulp to stay in the juicer longer. You know, for things like leafy greens, wheatgrass, and carrots, you're going to want to have it at 3, and if you're juicing something like fruits that maybe start backing up on you, you're going to want to reduce it basically to like a 1, 1.5, or even a 0.5 actually. You can take it on a 0.5 and then at 0 or at just a big block, the unit comes off. And also if you're juicing something that's backing up really bad, you can just take this unit off altogether. That being said, I would probably just put it a little bit past the little block or the 0 so that you have minimal restriction. That being said, if you're juicing fruits and vegetables, I would always put it at 3. Next we have the juicing screen. Now the juicing screen I like because it actually is stainless steel and stainless steel. This is a dual stainless steel screen, whereas on the NC800, NC900 they made it stainless steel and plastic. So maybe I suspect that maybe the plastic on this first stage screen was breaking too much, so they went with the stainless steel on this. So stainless steel, in my opinion, will break less than plastic, and we'll see what happens on that one. Also, from comparing the screens side by side, when I looked at them, there are more screen holes on the NC1000 than the previous generation unit. So this has more holes, which is more of an opportunity for juice to come out of those holes, which means it may make your yield higher. It also means there's a little bit more holes to clean when you're done. And also I like the stainless steel really a lot on this housing. Also, this housing is basically lined with stainless steel on the inside. If you guys can see that, but that's where some of the grinding takes place. And this is also more of a, instead of being a black component, this is kind of more of a smoke component, so you kind of see through there. And honestly, I personally think this looks sharper than the NC800, NC900. Next, we have the powerhouse, or the heart of the NC1000. This is the auger. It's an 8 times harder GE Ultim auger that is used to grind up the produce. And to me, this looks very similar to the NC800 auger. I have not compared them side by side, but I'm sure there's some minute differences between them. And this basically does all the grinding. And these are quite durable, and I've never really found a problem with them. And then, of course, we have the main body housing. The thing I like about this main body housing is, look at that. Super simple, super easy to clean. You blast water through there, blast water through here. You take the included cleaning brush, or I use an IKEA dish brush that cost me 50 cents at IKEA. Brush it all out. brush off the screen, rinse these parts out, and boom, you're done cleaning it in 90 seconds. Well, that's how long it takes me, and if you're slower, it might take you a bit longer. So yeah, so we're going to plug that back in, and this unit also very easy to assemble. We got that installed in there. We're going to put the auger in there. The screen always goes the screen side face down, straight in. And then there's like a thing that says open and close. You got to line up this little guideline. You got to put this little protrusion here over here, and then you just rotate it to closed, and then you have the pusher, right? And that's the main juicer. And we only have a few other parts in this box that we're going to go over. We're going to take them all out at once. We got this little packet right here, and then of course we have the instruction manual with the warranty cards. This manual also includes recipes. I think there's like over 20 recipes that are actually right here listed to get you started juicing. I know that's a big common complaint that people have, like, John, what do I juice? Well, you can make a morning glory citrus juice, 2 grapefruits, 1 red bell pepper, 2 pears, and 6 carrots. Wow, that is packed with vitamin C. You can make an apple kiwi juice, 2 apples, 3 kiwis. Baby food carrots, you could basically make baby food, so they give you recipes for that. Baby food peas, you can make a clean boost. You can make breadsticks, salsa in a glass. Over 20 different recipes. It tells you how to make the peanut butter, cookie dough, nut butter, right? Almond milk, soy milk, tells you guys how to do that, all in this manual. That's something that does not come in the NC800, NC900 manual. In addition, you got your warranty card, which I would encourage you guys to send in. 15-year warranty on this machine. Warranty is non-transferable. And make sure you read the instruction manual before use, so you use this machine properly. I also encourage you to watch my video, how to use the NC800 model, and get the best use out of it. Once again, the link is down below in the description. Finally, you get some accessories, and some of these accessories are not included with the previous generation model, which including the nice sieve. So you have a sieve that basically will sit on the catch cup, so as your juice comes out, you can strain out the juice with this sieve to put less pulp in your juice if that is desired. This is something that you would actually have to buy extra, or actually produce your own sieve on the NC800 NC900 series. I would often told Omega that they should include it. So with the NC1000 premium version, they now include it. So that's really cool. You get the cleaning brush that to me pretty much looks exactly the same as the NC800, NC900. Really stiff bristles, so if you guys want to use a different kind of dish brush, make sure you get one with nice stiff bristles. That's going to basically dislodge all the pulp out of the juicing screen. Very important to scrub the front and back of the stainless steel screens right after you're done juicing, so that you get no holes clogged in your screen, because that will reduce performance over time. In addition, you have the screwdriver end that can be used as a pick to kind of like dislodge pulp out of the machine. Next, we have what's called the homogenizing cone, blank plate, whatever you want to call it. And unlike the juicing screen that I'm going to take out here, which basically has those holes here and the holes here, this basically just is solid plastic here, and this basically allows you to crush up everything you put in the juicer. So this allows the juice to come out, the nut milk to come out. And this one basically just grinds up everything to come out. So if you're mincing garlic, this will allow you to mince the garlic. This will allow you to grind your coffee. This will allow you to make your nut butters, your peanut butters. This will allow you to make frozen fruit sorbets, and also allow you to make baby food. This is also the attachment I use to make salsa. Also that attachment you're going to use to make that natural candy with just fruits and nuts, like a Larabar, right? Really convenient, really handy, nice and durable part. I like that it's basically stainless steel lined from the time it all grinds until the time it is ejected out the end, all right? And in addition, aside from that, if you want to make breadsticks, this is something also the NC800 does not have. This includes 6, count them 6, 1, 2, all right, 3, 4, all right, 5, 6. So these are 6 extrusion nozzles to extrude pasta or make breadsticks. And maybe there's some other uses to them that I haven't discovered yet. I would probably use this one if you're kind of this one, or this one if you're kind of making some kind of candy. So what you would do is that you would basically, to set up the machine for homogenizing, you would basically put this cone in the machine. Then you're going to go ahead and put the nozzle right at the end of the blank, and then you're going to go ahead and put on only just this little drum cap right here, and it's basically going to sit and rest in place, lock in place, and then you can kind of see right there, this is where the nozzle is, so it'll basically direct everything coming out to make nice extruded shapes of whatever you're homogenizing, right? And this may have a tendency to grind things up or condense it a little bit further, which may be desired or not. Like if I'm making the ice cream, actually I'm going to use this one right here to make a nice shape, a nice little round, like I don't know, frozen yogurt consistency. Actually, I think what would be really cool on this is to have one of these guys that's shaped like a little star. You know, like at the frozen yogurt place or whatever, they turn on the machine at McDonald's and it kind of comes out with like a star shape. You could have that one and you can make like nice cones. That'd be really cool. All right, so yeah, you could set it up for all the different homogenizing tasks, baby food, or what have you. We're going to assemble it back up for juicing. Look how quick and easy this just goes together, and then we're going to go ahead and put on that outlet adjusting cap at the end. And then finally with this machine you get two BPA-free collection cups, right? You guys get one cup that goes underneath the juicer for the juice, which has a nice pour spout, and then you have the bigger collection cup, which basically goes underneath this side to catch all the pulp that is generated. I personally don't like to use these. I find them a little bit small, and these are a little bit smaller than the ones on the NC800 in my opinion, although I haven't tested that yet. I prefer to just use glass collection containers anyways. They're easier to clean, and these plastic BPA-free containers may stain over time, so I don't even use them myself. So that's pretty much the NC1000 in a nutshell. You know, I'm not seeing any major differences in the looks or the operation. There's a few differences in the accessories, maybe a reset button that's kind of nice, and I'm not exactly sure why it's called premium other than just being the latest and greatest model. What I want to do next for you guys is actually start juicing with the NC1000 to see how it performs when you're actually using it to make a vegetable juice. Alright, so now I'm back and I'm all ready to juice it. We got a forest for you guys, literally fresh picked out of my garden. We got like parsley that's bolting or going to flower, so the stalks are super long. This is something I've never done on my YouTube channel, is juice things that are super long without pre-cutting them. And that's why I love the horizontal augers, such as the NC1000. In addition, we got broccoli leaves, nice broccoli leaves once again. No need to pre-cut them to put into the juicer, unlike a vertical juicer that you would need to pre-cut those. And I recommend cutting, you know, 1/4-inch pieces when you're using a vertical juicer. Not so with the NC1000. We will also be juicing, hidden somewhere back here. We got 2 Granny Smith apples and we got 4 white carrots. Yep, white carrots. You've seen them here first. Yeah, they are kind of like more heirloom style carrots. And we got 1 nice long English cucumber, which we will have to cut in half. Oh wow, it actually fits in without pre-cutting it, which is totally amazing. So let's get some of this forest out of here and let's get it turned into juice so I can get it into me so my garden and my greens can nourish my body. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn this on. And now the one thing I will say is that to me, this thing sounds a lot quieter than the NC800 model that I own. So maybe that's another improvement. They have better insulation inside the unit so that it's more quiet, which may be important to some of you guys out there. Now when juicing, I always encourage you guys to put something in like leafy greens first, since we have a variety of items. And let's just go ahead and grab carefully, so we don't tear everything over, one of these nice broccoli leaves, kale leaves, collard green leaves, cauliflower leaves. All these can be juiced. They're normally not juiced. Usually broccoli is only eaten for the flower, but the leaves are actually quite nutritious. So how we're going to do this, we're just basically going to fold it up, roll it into a cigar, and just put it into the machine. And look at that, man. It almost sucks it all the way in there. A little bit of help. And as you guys can see, we got this down to 3, so we got the maximum tension. And as you guys can see, some juice is dribbling out. Right after that, we're going to go ahead and maybe put in a piece of apple and push that apple in. A little bit of downward pressure. You don't want to force it in there. You want to just let it run. So now that apple is getting juiced and it's kind of diluting down and helping that green juice come out. Now I want to do this for you guys. We're going to juice this long piece of parsley, which is in the celery family, so it looks kind of like, you know, the celery. And look at this. Look at that, how long this piece is. And I didn't even take off all the different leaves off there, right? We're just going to leave these on, and even though this is super fibrous, that may clog or jam. Some juicers, like, don't try this in a high-speed juicer. You're going to make a mess. We're just going to go ahead and take this and feed it in little by little. Look at that. It is literally crushing and destroying this parsley, we're going to have a really rich parsley juice here. You know, shove that in there. Look at that. No problem. Look at this. This is sucking that parsley in. No problem whatsoever. We're going to have some of the amazing juice. And look at that. That parsley that was a big ass thing is now just turned into just literally fiber. That's just like the fiber. Wow, it really smells like parsley too. Next, we're going to go ahead and let's drop in a piece of cucumber. Maybe we'll slice the cucumber lengthwise in half to make it go in easier. And we're just going to drop in some of that cucumber in there. And look at that, it almost auto feeds. Once again, we're going to have to use the pusher there. Push it in a little bit. I encourage you guys when juicing to rotate hard and soft items. Wow, it really destroyed that parsley. I mean, it really just turned into like, wow, this stuff is so dry I can't even squeeze any liquid out of it. That's impressive, all right? So next, let's go ahead and put a broccoli leaf in. Once again, we're going to break it in half, fold it onto itself, roll it like a cigar so you can fit it in without any pre-cutting, and just shove it in there. So this machine could juice things like, you know, if you're into medicinal cannabis or can grow hemp in your state legally, this could juice that. Now the tender stems, I wouldn't put super thick, hard stuff in there. This could also juice herbs, wild greens such as dandelions, even juice things like grass and wheatgrass. Next, let's go ahead and drop in a little small carrot. We're just going to go ahead and drop the carrot in there. Look at that. The carrot basically will auto feed itself until it gets to the end, and then we're going to use a little bit of pushing to push it in. Next, we're going to go ahead and take another big long thing of this parsley, and I want to point this out to you guys. This is a big heavy stalk here, and look at that. That's a thick stalk. I mean, that's almost like a trunk. If I squeeze this, I can't even squeeze it to break it. This is so fibrous. Don't try this in any other juicer, right? We're going to go ahead and put this through there, and it basically, look at that, man. It just grinded up and basically juices that hard, heavy stock, right? Wow. And I actually got the machine to stop because this is such a load on the machine. So if your juicer should stop because you're juicing something extraordinarily thick, which this is extraordinarily thick, you're going to go ahead and hit the reverse button a little bit, and this will help to reverse the machine out and get that, wow, look at all that fiber in there. And then we're just going to go ahead and put forward. Oh, that's reverse. And then we're going to go ahead and do forward, and it's going to grab that and suck it all the way through, right? Then we're going to probably like, you know, make it a little bit easier on the juicer. We're going to take all these stalks off and put these in separately to reduce the load, because, you know, when the juicer stops because you're juicing, oh, you put in too much stuff and there's too much fiber in there. Now we're reversing it out to get it to reverse, and we're going to hit forward, reverse, until the clog is unjammed. The other thing that you may want to do is loosen the extraction knob here, because this fiber is so fibrous, it's actually not extracting because it's so thick. So if we took that knob off there, look at that, now it juices really easily. Yeah, these fibers are extremely thick, but yeah, even the thickest fibers, you might have to take that this piece off. But yeah, no problem. Now that we got thinner fibers and we got that jam cleared of all that thick stuff there, and this is stuff that actually you would not want to eat. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that, but this stuff is so thick. Let me see. I could almost use it as dental floss. That's how insanely thick that was, and this cranked through it, yeah, with a little bit of challenges, but that's totally normal. I mean, this would basically probably break other cheap juicers there. All right. The other thing you could do to avoid this situation is pre-cut this a little bit, but, you know, I'd rather, you know, juice it a little bit slower and not have it self-feed, and just pay attention and then use that reverse technique and remove this little outlet knob, you know, as needed to make it juice successfully for you. Once again, those leaves go right in without any problem. Next, let's go ahead and something easier on the juicer. Put a cucumber in there. Put an apple in there. So we're rotating the different textures that we're juicing. Now I want to go ahead and put a broccoli leaf in there. So I always like to put something kind of watery or wet, like cucumber technically is a fruit, you know, after some of the greens, because that helps wash through some of the dense green juice, especially like something like parsley could kind of get kind of globby, you know. So once again, now we're going to go ahead and put some broccoli in there. And let's go ahead and follow that by a carrot. The carrot will kind of help clean out or cleanse out the passageways through the juicer there. And let's go ahead and try for another parsley. That's you know, more of a softer stem. just to kind of check to see how the juicer's doing. Here's another softer stem. Look at this. On this stem, you can see I could crack this and it literally just cracks in half. And this is probably more something like you should juice. You probably shouldn't be juicing really something super thick, but once again, you know, I put the juicers through the test, show you guys real world stuff, what actually happens when you're trying to juice this stuff. Yeah, it stopped, no big deal. That was excessively hard, it damaged other juicers. Trust me, I know, because I've done that before. But yeah, a little bit of a challenge in the NC1000, but basically powers through that. Softer stuff and things you would buy at the grocery store, yeah, no doubt, it's just going to power through it like it did right there. Let's go ahead and put a piece of that cucumber in there, kind of wash that celery stuff through, or the parsley stuff through. And once again, this is the machine I would recommend if you guys want to make that straight celery juice that the medical medium is recommending so much. You know, straight celery juice is going to work amazingly in this machine without pre-cutting, and it's definitely not going to stop juicing just store-bought celery, right? And let's go ahead and put some more broccoli in there, and then now we're going to go ahead and put a carrot in there, and we're going to go ahead and juice the rest of the stuff. So to save you guys time, I'm just going to go ahead and rotate through all this stuff, and we're going to come back at you when I'm all done. Alright, so I'm just about done juicing. I've made literally a quart of juice, and I have a few things left, and I want to go over my special technique I have for you guys. If you guys do grow your own parsley or other woody stems, I mean seriously, this is like a woody stem, it's so thick. You know, instead of just putting it in like I did the first time, you know, I learned from my mistakes. If it stops, that means you need to adjust how you're juicing in it. Maybe don't feed in as much, maybe pre-cut. And better than pre-cutting, because I don't like pre-cutting, is you could take this, stick it in a little bit, let it grab off a little bit, chew off a little bit, and then pull it back out, right? Instead of just letting it suck in. When it sucks in, there's just too much fiber for the juicer to deal with, and then it basically stops, and you have to hit the reverse thing. So instead of doing that reverse thing, feed a little bit in, pull it out, and let it work a little bit, and then feed a bit more in so you're not overloading it, right? It's not stopping because it's weak, it's stopping because I literally overloaded the machine like hardcore, juicing this crazy stuff that honestly most of you guys would probably never juice yourself. But that is a testament to the durability of this machine. It didn't even pop the circuit breaker or anything. You know, once we get down to its being a little bit more you know, thinner, although this is pretty thick still, we're going to still pull it out one more time. Maybe we're going to follow that by maybe one apple in there. And look at this. I mean, this is seriously turning the parsley into these shreds. I mean, this is super dry, super impressive. I mean, there's not a lot of juice in this to begin with. Parsley is in the celery family, and it is known to be basically a detoxifier of the body, and super rich in chlorophyll as well. And I love juicing my straight Italian parsley when I have it in season from my garden. It also tend to make a gloppier juice, so you want to have a lot of other different fruits and vegetables in with it. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of glop in your juice, alright? Man, that was quite a tough job for the NC1000, but literally just turn that into these shreds. Once again, man, these shreds are just hardcore fiber on the celery anyways, or the parsley. Super dry, can't wring anything out of it. Some of the other pulp, like this, the cucumber pulp, a little bit moist, but that's going to happen on all slow juicers. I did have some extra produce left over because my cup is actually almost overflowing. And we're going to, you know, once again, once you put the last produce item in the machine, you're going to want to let it run a little bit longer before just shutting the machine off arbitrarily. You know, as you put that last thing in, it's still working. If pulp is still coming out, if juice is still dripping out, it's still working. So we're going to go ahead and just also maybe reverse it back and then reverse it forward to make sure we get all our juice out. We can turn it off. Last thing I like to do is I like to take the machine, tip it forward, then tip it back. We'll get a couple more drops of juice. We'll go ahead and take the pulp collection, put that under the juice catch so we can get drips on the counter. Whoops, and I have so much juice it's leaking out here. So we're going to go ahead and carefully pour this juice here into my glass. Alright, look at that nice texture on that juice, and I'm spilling a little bit because I'm pouring too quickly. Nice green juice, definitely gloppy from the parsley, made in the NC1000 juicer. Wow. If you love parsley, you're going to love this juice. And if you don't love parsley, you're going to hate it. I probably would say I'd rather drink parsley juice than kale juice. To me, the parsley tastes way better than kale. Also, you know, I honestly don't get enough parsley in me. I eat it in dinners and salads sometimes. I make meals out of it. But, you know, this is a way I could really use produce in my garden that I wouldn't otherwise eat. Like, I would never think I'm going to chew on those fibrous stalks because they would get stuck in my teeth. You know, but now I'm able to juice those stalks. And here's the thing, right? Stalks of the vegetables, such as the kale, and actually the last episode I had, I was using kale stems. The stems and the stalks, you know, are mineral accumulators. They have lots of different trace minerals in them. That's why celery is known to be an electrolyte-rich vegetable. You know, I want to encourage you guys to juice the stems of the foods that you would not otherwise eat. Many people will basically de-stem the kale and eat the kale leaves, but not the stems. The juicer allows you to extract the very valuable nutrients from the stems, including those valuable trace minerals. So yeah, I would say for my first use, the NC1000 worked great. Before I go, I want to show you guys how easy this machine is to clean. You're just going to go ahead and take out that outlet adjusting knob here. Basically, I blast water through this. It'll be clean in a second. Blast water through the drum cap here. A little bit of pulp there that I'll then put on the little pulp collection there. Super simple, super easy to clean. Next, we got the juicing screen that's doing all the heavy work. You can see it's pretty impacted with pulp. Once again, we're just going to blast water through here. It's going to clean all this up. We're going to take that cleaning brush, scrub off the screen, this side, scrub off the screen, which pretty much just basically removes clean just with my fingers by rubbing it down. Look at that. The screen's almost already clean. We're just going to blast some water through that, scrub it this side, put the brush in on this side, scrub it this side. Boom, we're done. Finally, we have the auger. Auger looks like it's pretty dirty, but you just take your hand like this and rotate it out. Now it's pretty clean. Blast with the water, scrub it with a brush with some soap on it real quick so you don't get the mineral accumulation, very important. And then we're going to go ahead and take this final clear piece, rinse water through that, brush it with soap and water, and we're done. You know, 90 seconds later, you're done cleaning your juicer. No other juicer easiest to clean that I found. NC1000, definitely going to give it a thumbs up for this demo. Stay tuned and click the subscribe button down below. So I'm going to compare this head to head to the NC800 and juice even amounts of produce in each one. So you can see, is this one get more yield, get the same yield? You know, in my personal opinion is this. I mean, this one pretty much looks like the NC800, NC900 functions as such and should get a similar yield, maybe a little bit more because it's improved in some ways, but for all practical purposes, you're going to get the same great single horizontal auger juicer. It takes the same time to clean and pretty much a similar performance. So if you guys want to have the latest and greatest, I could definitely say the NC1000 is it. It comes with a few extra accessories that I like. Also that reset button that I like a lot. That's been something I've wanted on the NC800 forever. So if you guys want to purchase this juicer, link is down below in the description as well as the first comment. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, hey, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also be sure to share this video with somebody else that's looking for more information on the NC1000 juicer. Also be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss on my new and upcoming episodes that are coming out about every 5 to 7 days. Next episode probably will be the NC800 versus the NC1000, as well as all my other videos that I put out on a regular basis to encourage you, inspire you guys about juicing and sharing the different juicers with you so that you guys could purchase the right one the first time and not have to worry about return shipping. Also, be sure to click that little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. So you get notified as my new videos come out, which is every 5 to 7 days. Be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 videos on this YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you guys all about the different juicers, comparing and contrasting them. So once again, you guys get the right juicer for you, and I empower you guys as consumers out there. So with that, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.